Woohoo! We're live. All right. You guys, welcome to the training, Tuesday training. I know I haven't done that. It feels like I haven't spoken to you guys in a long time. I said that last time as well, but I think I've gotten so busy with some other things and with my little one being off and then her birthday yesterday. It's just been absolutely crazy, and I feel like I've been spoken to somewhere. Yeah, although I spoke to Nazreen yesterday and Liz even earlier today. Um, it's always great to connect with you guys, and today I wanted to bring you something. It's more of an X Factor training, but you guys are going to get double impact of X Factor today and tomorrow. But how are you? I know Liz is doing well. I know Matt is doing great. Orfeo is trying to get a hang of his timeline. Hey, Melanie, long time no see. All right, let me see. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Okay. So here's the topic for today that I wanted to talk about. How many of you, and again, please remember this is going to be interactive. How many of you have heard the saying, "It's better to give than receive"?
Yes.
Yeah, you've heard it. Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody
Yeah.
else? Yeah. Okay. All right. Today I'm about to challenge that. I'm about to say to you guys that it is whoever made that is absolutely insane and has no idea of math. Okay? So we're going to do that. We're going to challenge that statement. One of the biggest and here's something I want to share with you guys. This is something I had to work on. I personally, and till today, I mean, there are elements of it that are always present in me. And one of the ways it was highlighted was in my conversations with Kenneth and Lisa. And it just got highlighted that these were this was an area that I needed to work on, and many of us have this. Let me see. Actually, let me just include them in here as well. Um, one of the reasons, one of the things that happens when you interact with other people is that you're able to highlight some of the things that are not working for you, whereas you yourself may not have been able to identify that. So this particular topic is about being givers and receivers. People who are very successful, or when you study them, they are excellent, excellent receivers. Whether it is a receiving of acknowledgement, whether it is a receiving of monetary exchange of value, um, they are absolutely, you know, great receivers. And if there was one thing, and I want you to consider this, and if you guys have notes or something like that you want to write down, you guys can do that as well. That one of the things that is absolutely a foundation to this thing is if you look at all of the principles of success, the one thing that can make or break you financially and really help you tap your financial potential is that you may just not be an excellent receiver. And for whatever reason, we always we work on, a lot of times we work on giving. We want to give to people. We want to help people, and everybody wants to do that. And it, for some reason, it becomes a selfish act when you're trying to receive something. And because we are sometimes poor at receiving, guess what? The gates of abundance never open to us. We shut those doors consciously or subconsciously. We don't necessarily. Oh, my phone is ringing. Excuse me. So we consciously or subconsciously don't don't receive it. And there are so many things. I'll give you an example. You know, when I used to when Kenneth would acknowledge me for something and is like, dude, you've done an excellent job of this thing. You've done this great training. You've done this good work and all of that stuff. One of the first things that would come up in me is like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it was no big deal. I didn't, it was no big deal. It didn't take anything special. Hey, it's because of you I was able to do that. Like I just throw it off. It bounced off me, right? I never really got present to the acknowledgement. Try doing this exercise sometimes. When somebody is praising you for something that you've done for them or a skill that you have or talent, I want you to, whether it's on Skype or in person, I just want you to be quiet there without saying anything. And once they're done, I want you to say thank you to them. And I want you to see what happens inside of your makeup, inside of your body. There's a physical reaction that we have to this thing. How many of you agree with that? How many of you have experienced that? Okay, or am I alone here?
No,
Nope,
that's
I have
that's right.
experienced it.
Right, Liz, you've experienced that. Matt, you've experienced that. Excellent, great. And how do you feel? And let me just and any of you can jump in. How do you feel when you're acknowledging somebody, or you're giving them something, and they do not take your acknowledgement? How does that make you feel?
I feel like kicking them butt.
You sound like you're speaking from personal experience.
Yeah,
No.
I am.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, imagine like if I was just pouring my heart, I was saying something to, Donna or Mel or Glennie or any of one of you, and I was actually just giving everything to you, like really acknowledging because you've actually made a difference in my life. And and when I don't see you trying to brush it off, you actually don't feel that great. You don't feel like the other person is really getting the value of what you're putting out there. Now imagine that in a spiritual sense, as the abundance is coming to you, consciously or subconsciously, as you negate that abundance goes away. There are things that fall into your lap and then don't last there. Have you ever experienced that? You may have been showered with love, with money, with so much stuff, but then for whatever reason, it doesn't stick around. I've experienced that. I've experienced that myself. I could not get to what it is that I need to establish in myself to be able to keep those things, keep those riches, the happiness, the love, and all of that stuff. Okay, so let me ask you guys this question, and you guys can just write your answers down in the box here. But where do you feel this whole thing is coming from? Why do you feel most of us do not feel worthy of praise, of the riches? Where is this low self-esteem coming from? So just jot down your answers, and let's talk about those for a minute. All right. All right, while these answers are coming the same, you don't feel like we deserve it. Yeah, Matt, what I want to know is where do you think that's coming from? Where is this feeling of not deserving and um, you know not worthy? Where do you think it's coming from?
I just think that we, um, in the realms of we don't deserve it. We don't. Sometimes I don't feel like I've earned it.
Right.
It's like winning the lottery. Like you're not going to feel satisfied with winning the lottery because you don't feel like you've earned it.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Okay. Now, I want you to go a little bit deeper in that. I want you to try to find out where do you think it's coming from. Yes, the money may come to you and you feel like you're not deserving of it, but why is it that you're feeling that way? Where do you think you can pinpoint, not necessarily, you may be able to point it to a particular experience, a particular learning. How do you think that got embedded in you?
I would say on a personal level, just just experience in the past, like
Hmm.
um, like trying to accomplish a certain task
Hmm.
and failing to accomplish this task, whether it be trying to work another network marketing company or trying to sign up 5 people. It's just not
Hmm.
have happened in the past.
Okay, so past experience is coming into play.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's see what other answers there are here. I feel I don't have the experience or I'm not competent enough to have an impact. Okay, got it. I've been instructed that way. Okay, so upbringing is coming in play. Sometimes you don't know all of the reasons for the compliment. Okay. Um, right. Okay. With reference to the industry that I'm in, because I feel I haven't done much, it's not that it's not deserving, but maybe not the way we are being praised for it. Okay. A lot of you, and this is just our natural state because that okay, because this is so much of an experience for me, and I continuously work on this. Many of us are not even going the deeper layers that we could possibly go. Believe me, if you had the experience and you were competent, you would still experience these feelings. And a lot of it, and Orfeo is touching on this right at the surface, that I had been instructed that way, meaning the way we grow up. It has nothing to do with our experiences. If we are excellent receivers, we would take our experiences and learn from it and continue to move forward. See, you and I, we grew up in an environment that didn't necessarily have all of the, information that's existing in today's age. It's the, you know, um, importance of our talents was maybe not necessarily that much in our education. We grew up in a fear-based environment. Period. Fear-based environment. It's not like we were always threatened, but there was always a sense of punishment. If we don't do something, we will be punished, and that idea of punishment is so ingrained in us that we don't even look to come out of our shell. We're subconsciously, we may not consciously, we may not feel that way, but our subconscious are always triggered, and they're always indicating is like, uh-oh, you know what, don't do anything because you'll be punished, right? You're not deserving of this. You're not, you can't go outside the box. You can't push forward. And we're going to address some of these that the statements that you guys have put in, and I'll give you guys some homework as well to be able to apply it so that you guys can start practicing receiving. Because remember, in Team United, we want you to become the best people that you can be so that you can earn the kind of money that you want to earn. Not only that, create a sustainable residual income. Now, sustainable comes from your character, comes from your talent. It's how efficiently you are going to be able to keep at the information and move forward and do the things that you need to do in order to keep the riches that are going to come your way. So, though, where's this low self-esteem really coming from? It's not from a lack of experience. It's not from it's not from, like Donna is saying, you don't know all the reasons for the compliment. That's okay. You don't need them. The person that is giving you the compliment is giving you because it's coming from their heart. There doesn't have to be a huge reason for that. It could be like, you finished a document for me and I could be praising you for that, right? And again, you're going to be like, okay, that's not a big deal, dude. Relax. I don't need a praise for that. No, that's the idea. You want to focus on that. That why is it that you're resisting that? It could be a very small compliment that you make great tea, right? And giving that compliment, you're gonna, for some reason, if I sit you down and I look into your eyes and I praise you on the tea that you make or a coffee that you make, believe me. And once, the first time that it ever happened to me, that I actually took my shields off and I let the praise get to me, it was a very emotional experience. And guess what? It was not a big deal at all, but it was an emotional experience, and that's where I'm trying to take you guys, that it is an emotional experience for you to receive whatever it is that you want in your life. And sometimes you guys tie that experience, you guys nod it out and put it away because you think that you're not deserving inside. Okay, and at some level we all are in that category. I hope that's making sense to you guys on where I'm taking you through this conversation. Just let me know if you have any questions. Just type it in, and I'll expand on those as well. I just want to make sure that you guys are. I don't want you to get lost in this, because when I give you the homework or give you small ways of actually applying it, you're not going to be able to apply it if you're confused at some point in the training. Okay, so I want you to just keep nodding, like just put in a Y, a yes, or something like that, just so that I know you guys are in the conversation. All right. So now that we know that we want to amplify this area of receiving into our lives, we also know that it has something to do with our self-esteem. It has something to do with how we grow up. Well, the fear-based upbringing that we did have, the punishment that we used to receive. I remember when I was in school, I used to get, like, I would have to put my hand out, and my teacher would hit on the hands with the what do they call it, ruler or scale or whatever you want to call it. And I remember in some classes it used to be on the other way around. It was on my knuckles, right? And those were emotional experiences for the kids. They get ingrained, but at that time, that was the accepted norm. You know, and kids wouldn't do things because they were scared that they would be punished. Now that we are adults, do you think that fear is gone now? Now that we're more smarter, we're brighter, we know more. What do you think? Is that
No,
fear
I
gone
think
now?
so.
Hmm.
I think it has become a force of habit, but um, the way you asked that question, I just now asked myself that question as to why I exactly behave that way.
Hmm.
Like I said, I've been instructed to be that way,
Hmm.
and I think my mistake is not accepting the compliment is or confusing it and not accepting the compliment, confusing it with being humble.
Hmm.
But you can be humble with accepting a compliment.
Bingo. Absolutely. You can be, and that's such a powerful point, Orfeo. I think there was an element in me that I thought humbleness means that I need to redirect that compliments elsewhere. Again, I get into a giving mode instead of actually receiving it. And let me relate an example to you. Mel and Glennie and myself, my wife, some of our family members, and all of that stuff. We've invested thousands of dollars in our personal development education. We have taken courses, we've gone to workshops, we spend weekends away, and all of that stuff. And that was great, Orphe. He puts a thank you with a smile. Um, and one of the things that is about this particular workshop, it's Landmark Education. Their weekend courses are all run by volunteers, people who want to contribute to others, and they want to help in some way or another in helping people get to what's important to them. And this whole weekend, volunteers come from like 6 a.m. in the morning and go home to like close to midnight or 1 a.m. And they do it for 3 days in a row. And at the last session, the seminar leader invites all of the volunteers to stand in front of the room. And there's this 100 and 150, 200 people sometimes in the crowd, and the seminar leader acknowledges this whole assisting body. Now, this assisting body is standing straight in a line, and they're facing the people that have been impacted by this workshop. For some, it's a life-changing experience. And the seminar leader acknowledges the volunteers on behalf of everybody. And he gets them, all the volunteers present, to who they are inside of the lives of these people. And he says that like who you are to us is a space of contribution. Without you, this space would not have been created. And that is so true. Some people don't really recognize that. That without those people, individual people be there, that particular space would not have been created where people get connected to what's important to them. And he does this for about 2 or 3 minutes, and there are people who are in front who cannot reflect this off anywhere, who can't just say, oh no, thank you, thank you for providing the opportunity. No, they have to stand there and take it. And when the seminar leader is done, everybody, the 150 to 200 people, applaud them. And they applaud them, and they applaud them. Without these people being able to go anywhere, they're standing in front with their hands straight and just taking that acknowledgement. You know what an emotional experience it is for those volunteers? I remember being on that stage, and I was just like, every molecule in my body was trying to resist the acknowledgement, to the point that I just had nothing else to think about, just to acknowledge myself and say, you know what? I made a difference here today. And that's very, very powerful. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of things to do so that you can start ingraining these things in your life. But what's first important for us to understand that not only do we need this element in our life, but also we want to know where it's coming from and how do we alter it? How do we go from this whole idea of like, I'm not worthy, I'm sorry about the background noise, that we're not worthy, to the point that, hey, we're worthy, right? We work hard and we're worthy of this, and we're going to take this. We're going to receive what comes our way because it is sent to us by whatever divine power you believe in. It is sent to us from there. Whether a compliment is coming from a person, whether it's money being received by accident, right? Or you find like a $5 bill on the road. I always like it, whether I find like a penny or a dollar or something like that. I find it, I pick it up and I say thank you and I put it in my pocket, right? And it's being there. There was, for whatever reason, that was there. It was there for me. It was there for my eyes to see. There was one. I'll tell you guys this. This was a few years back in the summertime. I was outside with my little girl, and we were eating ice cream. So I went to throw the wrapper in the garbage. As I was throwing the wrapper in the garbage, I saw a $5 bill sitting right there on the garbage, right there on top. I'm like, really? It's like right there. I'm like, this is odd. Like, okay, it's a $5 bill, and yeah, I picked it up. I'm like, did somebody lose this? There were a couple of people standing over there, and like, did you guys lose a $5 bill? I'm like, no. I'm like, okay. And I looked up and said, thank you, a $5 bill, and that's it. Now the thing is that of course, we can go into stories. There are so many stories that are gonna come to it. Well, what about the person who lost the $5? What if what if that $5 belonged to somebody who was very poor? Like, yes. And that's why, you're going to start to justify why either you should not take that $5 bill. You can take that $5 bill, say thank you, and actually go make a difference for a homeless person or something like that. Buy them coffee or something like that. There's so many ways to do it. It pays to throw your garbage, absolutely. So here's what I want to say. Here's one of the principles I want you to understand. If you say you're worthy, if you say you're deserving, then you are. Period. If you say you're not worthy, if you say you're not deserving, then you're not. Either way, you will live into your story. Either way, you will live into your story. Your actions are going to be reflection of whatever story you are telling yourself. Okay? I'm going to repeat that for you guys, okay? If you say you're worthy, or if you say you're not deserving, then you're not. And if you say that you are not worthy, or you're not deserving, then you're not. Either way, whether you say yes or no, either way, you are going to live into your own reality. If you feel like you're not deserving, then things in your reality are going to reflect that. That's going to be your story. That's how things are going to show up for you. It doesn't matter how much amount of training we're going to provide. It doesn't matter how much amount of coaching you're going to get. If your attitude that I'm not deserving and worthy of their time, of these people's value and commitment and all of that stuff, then you're not going to receive it. So the first thing that we need to do is not is alter our story, is alter the way we look at things, alter we talk about ourselves or talk to ourselves. Okay, so one thing that you guys can, why don't you guys tell me? I mean, in the past, has anybody done any exercises like these that help you change your stories or change what self-talk you are doing? Is there anything that you guys have ever done to alter the stories that you're telling yourself and you want to share with the group? Liz took off. Okay. Anybody?
Yes, I have had some training, and it was particularly to the martial arts training that
Okay.
I'm taking, the course that I'm taking, and yeah, one of the stories is to be humble as much as possible,
Hmm.
but you were exactly on point by explaining this because my instructor never said that I cannot take a compliment. It was my own interpretation.
Hmm.
That's what I learned. And one other thing that I learned is that if you have a success that you placed yourself there,
Hmm.
but somebody might have shown you the door. Acknowledge them too.
Absolutely, acknowledgement. Okay, got it, got it. And there's and Orfeo, if I may add something to or ask you a question, in your martial arts, how do you teach people to be humble? Like, I mean, do people do you think people know what is being humble about?
A lot of the times they do not understand what humble is being about. So I try to set an example. I'm a third degree black belt, but I tell them every time I work really hard to get here. But I was introduced to the art by my master instructor,
Hmm.
and he gave me the chance to learn it. So I'm taking credit for the hard work, but
Hmm.
I'm not taking all the credit for the hard work because somebody had to teach me.
Hmm. Right. Okay, so giving credit and again going back to acknowledgement, and that's really strong point, Orfeo, and that's something if you're working on that in your martial arts studio, it's great. Acknowledgement is one of the not only a giving platform, but it's also a doorway into receiving. It's not the receiving. Acknowledgement is actually more giving, but receiving the acknowledgement as well is an art in itself. Why do you think Kenneth and I, we're every moment that we get, we're trying to find ways to acknowledge you guys, is because we don't have too much acknowledgement in our lives. There, we're so focused on what we don't want to do or what our kids should not do and all of that stuff that we forget about acknowledging just the simple acts of kindness and simple acts of gratitude and simple acts of selflessness from somebody, and know that in turn there are things that we do in our lives that people would want to acknowledge, and we sometimes do not give ourselves a pat in the back. Why do we expect the world to give us a pat on the back? Right? It's that kind of an idea that sometimes gets you to think, is like, if I don't respect myself enough, then why is the world going to respect me? Right? Your reality, and just like I said, it doesn't matter what you say to yourself. Whatever you say to yourself, you are going to make it real. You are going to live into that story. And you're going to say, no, it's the truth, and this is not the truth, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, truth is a matter of perspective, whatever you want to create it. And I'm going to keep this very simple without going into too much of the, in-depth idea and all of that stuff here. I've Pervez Nazreen, whoever wrote this, he said, even I used to think so. I didn't really catch that. Which one? What point was
No,
that?
that's like, yeah, Nazreen here,
Yes, yes.
like how Ophir said, it's confused with being humble.
Got it. Got it. Very good. Very good. So here's one of the things I want to do for you. A lot of people feel like they're not qualified to make themselves worthy, right? They're not qualified enough or not deserving enough that we have the power on ourselves to make us worthy. It's sometimes we look for some factors outside of us. I want to read something to you. There's an author. His name is T. Harv Eker, and the topic that I've picked is actually Wealth File number 10 in his book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And he relates a story in there, and he talks about. He said, let me just go to it. Is that in his seminars, he does seminars, weekend seminars, he does something very special. It's like just to make people feel better, he said, let's play a game. And and he says he'll do it with us as you're reading the book that he does in his seminars. He's like, I'll do for you what I do for thousands of participants in the Millionaire Mindset Mind Intensive Seminar. And he said this is a special ceremony. So imagine you guys are all at the special ceremony. And I'm going to ask you to eliminate any distractions right now. Stop munching, stop talking on the phone, and stop whatever you're doing. Men, if you like, you can change into a suit and tie, although a tuxedo would be best. Women, a formal evening gown and heels would be perfect. And if you don't have anything that's classy or new enough, this would definitely be an occasion to buy yourself a brand new dress, designer label preferred. And once you're ready in your mind, here we go. Please kneel down on one knee and bow your head in respect. And T. Harv Eker comes up, takes out his knighting sword and says, ready, here I go. By the power invested in me, I hereby appoint you as worthy from now until forevermore. That's his thing that he does at his workshops. And it's simply a ridiculous way for showing people that sometimes they're looking for other people to tell them whether they're worthy or not. And if you're looking for somebody, if you're looking for somebody outside of you, I'll give me an opportunity to tell you, to knight you, that you are worthy. Because if you choose to live into that story, you are going to experience power, not me. You are going to experience power. You want a life freedom, again, you want happiness in your life, be an excellent receiver. You want abundance, you want money in your life, you want things to work out for you, be an excellent receiver, be open to it and acknowledge that you're open to it. Many of us are going to are going to do this homework for those of you who are actually going to attempt it. Okay? So many of you are not going to do it. And for those of you who are going to do it, you're going to stick with it for about a week and it's not working. Whereas your upbringing took you 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years in making. Whereas you won't stick with something for 30 days for it to see the impact. That just goes to show you how you're taking on any area of your life. See, that's where in small things you can see what's not working for you. And by us giving you, and for those of you who want coaching on this, by all means, set up a coaching session. I'll be more than happy to help you with this. Okay? So here are some of the things. So we've identified that the story needs to shift, that we're worthy, whether we're worthy or not worthy. Okay? Let's have a different story. Okay, but ingraining that story into our minds is going to take some exercise. We'll talk about that. We sometimes look for acknowledgement from outside to tell for people to tell us whether we're deserving or not. Well, I just said to you that you are worthy and you are deserving, so that point is checked. And earlier I talked about that for whoever that person was who said it's better to give than to receive. And I said I'm going to challenge that because that statement just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying that is your right arm better or your left arm? It's the right side of the brain should be used or the left side of the brain, right? You can't say I'll keep my left leg and I don't need my right leg, right? It's not that. Every and even Newton's law talks about the balance of forces. For every giver, there must be a receiver, and for every receiver, there must be a giver. Think about it this way. I asked you this question earlier. How could you give if there wasn't someone to receive or something there to receive it? You're not going to be able to do it. Both have to be in perfect balance to work 1-to-1 or 50-50. How do you get, and I asked you this question, how do you think about it? How does it feel to give? Most of us like generally say, it's great to give. I feel better. I feel powerful, and I enjoy doing that. Now, if you look at it on the other side, how does it feel when you want to give to somebody else and they're not willing to receive it? I've shared this with you many times. If we're not, I still have it in me that sometimes whenever acknowledgement is coming my way, I shut it down. I shut it down by saying something, and I have to. What do I have to practice? I have to practice being present to every word that the other person is saying. And I'll tell you something. Team United has just been an amazing platform for that. It has built that muscle for me that I can actually sit still without saying a word and actually listen. Still practicing it every single day. Not only just giving, but actually receiving it as well. So know this, if you're not willing to receive, then you're ripping off those who want to give to you. And I want you to be present to that. If you're asking for riches and abundance and training and happiness in your life, and if you're not willing to receive, you're actually ripping off the people who are actually making that possible for you. Now, I know it might sound a little bit harsh, but that's the muscle you want to ingrain in yourself. Without that, we're not going anywhere. You want to spin your wheels. You want to think of it. You're going to be in a car. You're going 100 kilometers an hour, or miles for the American folks, and 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 you're just spinning your wheel. You're not doing anything. You're not going anywhere, right? Any questions on this? Are you confronted by this statement? Do you agree with this statement? Give me some comments. Give me what you're experiencing.
Rasa,
I agree.
okay.
Matt, you go first. Then Orfeo will come to you. Go ahead, Matt.
Sort of. Um, yeah, I agree with that, and it's a mindset that we all have to change. I think
Hmm.
with time and development. I think that's it's something that we don't change overnight, but it's something that sounds really good.
Yeah, it sounds good, and sometimes the question is, how do I go about it? Right? And it's not even about that. It's not like you can go and get a book. I don't know if there's a book on how to be an excellent receiver, but a lot of people, the best way to implement these things is really by ingraining them into your lives. And that's why being participating inside of the Team United platform helps you not only be reminded of those things, but also you have the opportunity to weekly or how many ever times touch base on coaching and just be reminded of that. And over time, these things just get ingrained in your own lifestyle. And that's what helps you, and Kenneth uses this all the time, that it helps you move the business from your mind to your heart. It is these little things that get added in and bring it to your heart, where it's just like your heartbeat just gets attached to it, right? And every time your blood pumps out, it pumps out all of this gratitude, this receiving, and all of that stuff. um, well, thank you, man. We're very proud of our team. We absolutely um, enjoy working with all of you. And here's one of the things I said at the beginning. This is a topic that I work on myself, and by sharing it with you guys, it actually reinforces it in me. Right? So, I kind of, if you want to look at it, I actually did this training for a selfish reason. To receive the learning, right? And so that's the other point that I wanted to talk about. The that for every giver there must be a receiver, and for every receiver there must be a giver. Orfeo, you were going to share something.
Well, actually, I wanted to tell you that I'm unable to comment because I have a poor quality of audio at the moment, so I didn't catch quite everything you said.
Oh, I got it, my
I'm
friend.
sorry about that.
No problem, buddy. I am attempting to record it, so let's see how this recording comes out. And you're more than welcome to, once you listen to the recording, share your thoughts with the team.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, man. No problem. Okay, so let me bring this whole thing home. Here's another consideration before I give you guys the homework on how do you want to incorporate this in your lives. Um, you know, let's talk about money. We all, in one way or another, had a conversation with our sponsor, with the person who invited us to this team, and one way or the other, we had a money conversation. We wanted to make money, and now money can. Let me ask you guys this. You know what? Why don't you guys quickly jot down uh, what does money do for you? What does money do for you, or what do you make money mean for yourself? Okay, let me just ask you that. Okay. Hey, Kenneth, how's it going, man?
How you doing, brother?
Good. When did you join in? It's so funny. I didn't
A
even.
little while back.
All right, all right. Good to have you here, man.
Thanks.
All right. So freedom of choice, perfect. Easy. All right. You see, money working for you means to pay off bills, debts. Okay, got it. Excellent. Liz, Naz, Donna, let's hear. What does money mean for you, or what does money get you, or money? What does it provide for you? So Kenneth says freedom of choice makes life more easy or comfortable for Orfeo. Um, it pays off bills and debts. I see money working for me. The ability to lead a comfortable life. Okay, so it's about and when you guys read those statements, do you think I can sum it up as money is a resource? It's a tool, right? It's a tool, it's a resource, something that leads us somewhere. If I want to go from point A to point B, I have multiple options. I can use a car, I can, use a bus transit, I can use a train or whatever. Those are resources, those are tools. Okay? What you get from it is always of who you are. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but money only makes you more of who you already are. Okay? Let me say that again to you. Money will only make you more of what you already are. If you are an excellent receiver, it will expand your receiving capabilities. If you are a nasty receiver, it will make you even more nasty receiver, right? If you are a giver, it's going to expand your capability of giving. If you like to donate, if you like to contribute to your communities, you're going to be able to do it more of that. It's always, it will money will not make you anything else but what you truly are, what you already are. And in you expanding your receiving muscle, you're actually opening the gates for receiving the money. We all want money. If I ask, go through everybody, everybody's like, yeah, man, I want some money. I want thousands of dollars, right? We all want to do that. We all want to get that. But how effective we are at receiving it, and how effective we were talking about developing character some while back. Why does Team United provide so much training around the mindset? Is to build your character. Eric Thomas, also known as ET, he says this, and I love this. He said that your skills and your strengths and your talents are going to take you places where your character might not be able to keep you there. Right? Let me say that again. Your strengths, your talents can take you places your character will not able to keep you there. How many of you have heard of stories of people winning lotteries and not and within a matter of a year to 2 years they're back at where they were or even worse? How many of you have seen abundance come into your life and then all of a sudden just go away, right? All of those things are present because of our level of how we can receive things and acknowledge and appreciate the things that we do receive. And that's where the conversation about gratitude comes in. So it's it's very and I want to tie it in with one thing, and I mentioned this in the mid training. I really want you to write this down. When I was talking about that I'm going to give you the homework and many of you are not going to do it, and for those of you who are going to do it after 7 days or 6 days, you're just going to leave it, right? And I said that how you do one thing in your life, so how you do anything in your life is how you do everything in your life. It doesn't matter whether you're attending this training or you're taking on the homework, or you're following instructions that Team United might have, or it is talking to your spouse, or trying to go to your work, your job. You might not like it, but how you are over there is all a reflection of how you do everything. There are elements of these everywhere. So you want to see where it is that you're at. Some of you have gotten jobs or are in a job that which may not necessarily pull on your strength. You may not like it. You may not like it. Well, there are things that you could do. First of all, appreciate what you have. It's providing for your family where you're at. That's one. Two, continue to be on the quest for more. Ask for more. Look for alternatives, right? Team United is one of your biggest alternative in front of you where you guys are receiving so much value and helping you become a better person, not necessarily just so that you can benefit TUI or just make money here, but it's actually impacting all of the teachings. If you take it, you can impact every area of your life that's important to you. It's one of the finest platforms that I've seen that people can actually exercise their personal development every week, every day, every month. And this is that platform. When you go talk to prospects, share that with them. This is what you're getting from here. So let's talk about how it is that we can ingrain these habits in our lives. Okay, so practice being an excellent receiver. Okay, so number one, so write this down. Each time someone gives you a compliment of any sort, all I want you guys to say, without any other story, I want you to just simply say, thank you. Nothing else. Not saying, no, you've done so much for me, it was just a small thing for me to do. No, nothing that. Just listen to the compliment and say, thank you. Right? And do not return. In that moment, I do not want you to return a compliment to that person at that same time. I want you to, if you feel like complimenting that person, do it at a later time or some other time. In that moment, I simply want you to say thank you and let it be. No need to return a compliment and all of that stuff. Nothing else, okay? So this allows you to fully receive and own the compliment instead of deflecting it as, hey, as I do sometimes. If you see me do that, point it out. I know Kenneth is very good at pointing that out. It's like, why do you do that? Right? So just own it. It's yours. Okay, in that moment. Hang up the phone. If you want to call that person an hour later or 2 hours later, following day, I want you to soak into that compliment just in that time. Okay? So this also allows the giver of the compliment the joy of giving that gift without it being thrown back at them. Okay, I really want you to get that. The person who's taking the time to compliment you, pour their heart for you, something that's important to them. By deflecting it, you're actually not acknowledging them. Let them have the joy of complimenting you. How many times we've really heard a compliment with that kind of thought? Okay, so that's one. Two, any, and I really mean any money you find or receive, you want to enthusiastically celebrate it. In your back office in Talk Fusion, whenever you receive money, I want you to just celebrate it like there was no tomorrow. Look up and thank the forces. Open the window and shout out, thank you for the money that's been bestowed upon me. Or thank you for the money, Talk Fusion. Or thank you, whoever. Like wherever you found the money. You might have found the money. It's like, you know what, look up or look down wherever you want to look and say thank you. Right? And and you can say great thing. You can say, I'm a freaking money magnet. Thank you. Right? Whatever you want to call it. I'm an excellent money attractor. I am a money magnet, right? Just yell it out loud. And and this goes for anything. This goes for money you find on the ground, money you get as gifts, money you get from the government, money you get from paycheck, from your business. Remember, the universe is all set up to support you. It's there to support you. Everything. You just want to be open up. You want to open up to just receive all of that in. Okay? All right. Last thing. So we've got the first thing that you're going to soak in the compliment without deflecting it. Two, whenever you receive any kind of money, government money, job money, business money, you find money, whatever, you want to just yell out, celebrate it. Have a party, play some music or something like that. Third, treat yourself. Pamper yourself, right? Really, take yourself out. At least once a month, do something special that lifts your spirit. I'll tell you something. I mean, I'm working with so many people, and I ask them this question: what fires you up? What excites you? Even something small, listening to a particular band or dancing or walking. What excites you? And you know how many people have a challenge in identifying that? What is it that excites them? And sometimes it not bothers me, but it baffles me. It's like, wow, I'm just so grateful to know what things excite me. And I can actually go and reach out to them. What are some of the things that excite you? I want an answer from everybody. Right? What excites you? Okay, just jot down. Just something. It could be small, it could be very big. Okay? As I continue to tell you about this. So, oh, Naz, that is so awesome. I love eating out. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so pamper yourself. At least one thing you want to do, and I'm going to look at those lines again. But do something for yourself. For ladies or even guys, if you want to go for a manicure, pedicure, massage, you want to rent a boat for the weekend, take the family away, or whatever it is. You want to have your kids looked after by somebody and just go for a few hours to do something for yourself that actually nurtures your soul. You feel good. I want you to do that for yourself. I want you to do the things that you like to do. Would you like to drive new cars? Book a test drive for yourself for BMWs and Mercedes and stuff like that. Go do that. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, right? Spa treatment, do that. All of those things are good. The your energy inside of you, what they call it vibrational energy, but energy inside of you, you're going to emit from that kind of experience will send a message out to people, to your to the circle that you interact with, to people that to the universe in general. That you know what, I'm loving it. Thank you for everything around me. Have you always, I mean, and, hopefully beside Kenneth and I, have you guys been around people who love what they do? They might be mountain climbers, they might be adventurous, they might travel the world or something like that. Do you know what they're so excited about life? It's because they're enjoying everything that they love to do. And let's look at these answers over here that we have, okay? So, eating out. Ah, love that one. Um, TUI, look at that. Donna loves TUI. And it lifts her. And that's why Donna is one of those people, right? She's found what fires her up. Being part of TUI, being in conversations with TUI, being in conversations with Kenneth and many of the others and myself, she's absolutely excited about it. Traveling the world, absolutely. I identified one of my values, number 3, is traveling freely. I want to be at a point in my life that I just I'm talking to Kenneth and I'm talking to Orfeo and like, Orfeo, you know what? I'm gonna come have lunch with you tomorrow, right? I just want to get on the plane, just go. I just want to go, spend a couple of days there, Orfeo. Maybe from there, maybe end up in Australia. I just want that freedom, right? It's something that calls when I talk about it, I get excited, right? Um, Taking time to watch a good movie late at night. Oh yes. And Kenneth is one of those guys. Am I right, Kenneth? That you don't fall asleep during the movies. Doesn't matter how tired Kenneth is. Kenneth doesn't necessarily fall asleep during the movies. That's one thing. Driving is a different story. Taking trips, traveling, practice. Orfeo, what do you mean by practice? Oh, if you can talk. If not, that's no big deal. Going out to eat, traveling to visit friends.
Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, Orfeo.
Yeah, by practice I mean my martial arts practice
Ah,
because it's expression.
hmm.
I'm expressing my body. I'm practicing. I'm clearing my mind. No distractions. Just doing what I need to do and not even thinking about the motions.
Right, right. Oh my God, Orfeo, dude, I absolutely love how you think, man. Many of you might not have picked on what he just said. Orfeo said that martial arts is an expression of him. He doesn't do that just for the money. Sometimes we take on things as like, okay, you know what, let me just open a coffee shop because there's a lot of money in it, right? Or sometimes it's about going to the hairdresser. Sometimes it's about like, you know what, let's do this or let's get into real estate because there's money. Well, yeah, it's something you are doing. It's not an expression of you. It's not You're not doing it to provide value. You're just doing it to gain money. That's what I identified for myself a couple of years back. That there were things that I was doing in my life that I was doing because it would make me money. And I would speak to so many people. Well, let me give you an example. Real estate. Why did Taz and I get into real estate? Because there's money to be made. Did we make money? Yeah, we made some money. We lost a ton of money too, right? And I've talked to so many people here locally who've been successful, who've got businesses and stuff like that, and they tell me it's like, no, and I ask them, it's like, so you must have a real estate portfolio. It's like, no, not real estate. I've never really understood that market. I'm like, huh, really? So and these people who are successful, they do things because they love doing what they're doing. They don't necessarily do it just because it makes you money. They do it because it's an expression of themselves. And once you really make Team United, your businesses, your family is an expression of yourself, there's a whole door that opens up for you. And that's why these trainings, especially the X Factor trainings that we've designed, and like I said, today's was more of an X Factor training. It helps you build that character that allows you to create an expression of you out of out of Team United and out of everything that you do. And once you make it an expression of yourself, you'll never work a day. You'll never work a day in your life. So, guys, I hope you guys got those 3 points. Again, let me summarize the points. One is you want to. I forgot. Can somebody put it down for me? Number one was. What was it? The homework. Ah, there you go. There it comes. There's notes from Matt. Each time you get a compliment, do not compliment in return. Perfect. Just say thank you. Any money you find, receive, celebrate, be expressive. Treat yourself at least once a month. Perfect. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And absolutely, kind of say thank you. That was the number one piece of the homework. Guys, you all are absolutely awesome. You know, I've said this so many times, and every time I do a training with you, I get present to it. You know that how important this community, the Team United platform, is for me in my life, and how important it is that not only do I get to converse with you, but really get to know who you guys are and what are your games in your life. I don't know if you have a platform like this outside of Team United, but I'll tell you something. This Team United is something. Okay, and I thank every one of you to be part of it, and for you to have chosen this platform to be part of it, and giving Kenneth, myself, and others an opportunity to be an expression of ourselves. Okay, so thank you, and I thank you, everybody. I see many thank yous coming, and I'm just going to be quiet and I'll take it. Okay, everyone, have a great day. Um, have a great day. Share in the Team United room what you've gotten from this training, and appreciate those who deserve appreciation. Go through your day finding stuff in people that 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 you can thank them for, that you can compliment, that you can acknowledge them. And not only just let them have it, as your compliment, but also notice how they react to it, because it'll be a reflection for you that how you react sometimes. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Have an absolutely awesome day. Bye.